You know, it's like individuals may say prove all things, but yet if then how? Not that I want to be prideful or anything, but to prove all things, I would then have to mention what I've done to help Israel, right? If I talked in the contents of I still guard Israel to this day, militantly, and that militantly is not announce it to everyone so that they may know how to avert my militantness. Right? Yes. But you know what? I remember being in the war room of God, to give honor, the war room of Lord Jesus Christ, who God said the worship of Hebrews 1, of Psalms 1, reflecting of meditation. But I was in the war room of Lord Jesus Christ, the Almighty, who God, his Father, is. And when I came out, individuals, what were you talking about? A safety for everyone. Please tell us. No. You know, I once came out the war room talking about I said, let's talk about nothing. I had a brilliant idea. In my opinion, it was a brilliant idea. That's why I said let others on it, right? Because how I just said that, it's very believable. That was a brilliant idea that I'm about to mention. But others should have a say if it was brilliant or not. But I gave my opinion. But this was the idea, to talk about the word nothing. So that when I come out and then have my memory erased, when I walk in the war room, talk about nothing. The plan was talk about nothing, the word nothing, and then literally have my memory erased, and then have the memory came flash-based device or something, and then have on a piece of paper before my memory was erased. I said I talked about nothing. Individuals in heaven, they may have their lasso lights of to make you honest or truth syrup. I am a real commander of all the forces of Lord Jesus Christ, of all the galaxies. You know, Lord Jesus Christ is the Lord of armies. All the galaxies and forces and stars and celestials and terrestrials under his authority, of even the hierarchy of administration of lordship under his authority. Only one hierarchy of lordship. And so Lord Jesus Christ is the Lord of lords, for righteousness is mortal. Wisdom of Solomon 1:15, for righteousness is mortal. But you know what, though? I will say this. Like, no matter what an authority wants to call themselves, kings, pharaohs, emperors, it don't change the fact that an authority is an authority. Lord Jesus Christ is the most highest in authority, eternal Lord of all authorities. For righteousness is mortal. But I will say this. So, Lord Jesus Christ is the Lord of armies, and lesser authorities are like a part of his military, that liken it to like commanders of administrations of forces. And so, like I said, back to the war room story. I'm in the war room. I come out. The plan was to talk about nothing and then write on a piece of paper. But to explain why, to see who was going to ask, and then watch and see who goes and talks about it. Who went around asking, what did they talk about? Why? That was the whole plan. So that when I look up in the books everyone's words they've ever said and put it into a computer screen, I can differentiate with distinction, called discernment, of who's friend, who's foe, who's who's just curious because they might believe that I just have everyone safe anyway. Who's just curious, or who's friend, or who's foe. And so it's just interesting. It's like, I believe that was important for me to know. But yeah, I once came out the war room of God, of Lord Jesus Christ, and decided to that plan. It was interesting because when individuals asked me, "What did y'all talk about?" I said nothing, because my memory was erased. My memory was erased, and if I had on a piece of paper that I talked about nothing, and I made sure we actually discussed the word nothing. I said, let's talk about the word nothing, because when I said I talked about nothing, that's also what I meant. That's what I meant. I talked about nothing. What is nothing? Let's have a discussion about nothing. What is nothing? Nothing is this. This is nothing. This is an example. What is nothing? Something. What is a dimension hidden to a dimension to individuals unaware? Nothing. Nothing to them. Nothing. But it's something. In the invisible realm called another dimension, I have more than one invisible realm. I made all the dimensions. I spy on those spying on me easily. You know, Lord Jesus Christ is a man of knowledge and good judgment called prudency. Ain't no way he appointed me over his armies under his authority for no reason. Wisdom of Solomon 1:15, for righteousness is immortal,